Hi everybody, it's Lavinia. Welcome to my channel, and this is going to be a tutorial on painting violas. And I'm using my Koi little pocket watercolor set here, and a couple of brushes and some watercolor paper. But I wanted to show you my inspiration from my backyard, this little viola that has been growing. So last week, or a couple of weeks ago, I discovered this little viola growing in our garden. And last year, actually, we bought some violas at Hobby Lobby, and this was under the snow. And so it's still here doing well. And so we're going to go ahead and paint some violas. Okay, so the violas we're going to make today are with purplish in here. And so here are some that I've already made, because what I'm planning to do is send out springtime cards. So these are from the Paper Studio, 5.5 by 4.5 inches in different pastel type colors. And these are the ones that I've made so far. Aren't they cute? So just different sizes. This is watercolor paper. It's the Canson watercolor. And really, really easy to make. And I mean, they're all different, but I am going to eventually go ahead and glue these to the card, so the card will either open up this way, depending on the orientation, or so either this way, or it'll be like this way. So this is my Koi watercolor set, and the colors that I'm using are the quinacridone rose, the ultramarine blue, the purple, and so I have that mixture here, and I'm going to gradually add more. And then for the leaves, I used a mixture of permanent green pale, viridian, and this olive green. All right, and then I have my little cup of water here. The brushes that I'm using are this Royal Langnickel number 10 round. I'm also using this Fine Touch number 1, and this will be for the stems, and also this Royal Langnickel number 2 round. All right, so here is my piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to use, I think they have like a smoother side and a rougher side, but I guess it doesn't matter. So I've got this down here, and I'm going to start with the flowers. So oops, I'm just taking so this again is a number 10 round, but any round brush or flat brush that you have, is fine. So again, I have here, just going to take a little bit of this purple, this quinacridone rose, as well as this ultramarine, and just go ahead and mix it here. It doesn't have to be all blended together, just to get the different tones and values in the flower. So maybe I'll make this long ways this way. I don't want it to be too watered down, but let's go ahead and start. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the point of the brush and pressing it down. So see, that's a little bit too light, so I'm going to put in a little bit more purple in the quinacridone rose, but that's okay. So again, just pressing it down. So we have the 3 petals at the bottom, and then the 2 petals there at top. Maybe we'll go in a little bit more of the ultramarine blue. Let me bring this down. And we'll make another flower here. So 3 petals there at the bottom, and then I'm going the other way to make the 2 petals there at top. I'm also going to just make one like that, and this will be like a little closed bud. And then maybe just a flower facing sideways, like that. Maybe get a little bit more of that quinacridone rose. So just pressing down, pressing down, pressing down. So this part, so if I do the point, that is going to be the top of the petal. So now I'm going to reverse it. Maybe I'll make that looking sideways. Maybe one up here with a little bit more of the purplish blue hue. So really simple to make. Maybe that'll be another bud, maybe another bud there. Another little smaller flower there. Maybe just a tiny flower there. Okay. So this is what it's looking like so far. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the ultramarine blue and purple. And let's see, maybe one up here. Maybe another little bud there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let that dry, and while that's drying, I'm just going to go ahead and mix in some greens for the leaves. So again, this is the permanent green pale. Just grabbing some of that. Then a little bit of this viridian hue. And just like with the petals of the flowers, I don't want to mix it all together just to get the variation. And then this is the olive green. It has some of that viridian on there, but that's okay. Just to get that. And then I'll show you what I do to make the leaves. Let's see if I have this piece of scrap. All right, so here's a piece of scrap. So for the leaves, you can just take with whatever type of brush you want, if you have a flat brush or a filbert or this round. And I am just going to go ahead and place it down and then swirl to make a leaf. Now this is a little bit watery, but again, it's just, let's see, press it down and swirl. So as you can see here, really quick and easy. So I'm just going to mix some of this together here. And I'm going to start making those leaves. Just grab a little bit more so it's not as watery, because I don't want them to be too light. And so again, what I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and press down and swirl. And I don't mind if it looks like that. You can always go ahead and fix it. But I'm just going to go ahead and swirl. Some leaves can be larger, some smaller. Change up the color. Some leaves in front of others. Okay. So I'm just rinsing off my brush. So I'm going to let that just dry for about a minute or so. And then we're going to go in with this liner brush. So again, number 1. And we're going to go ahead and draw in the stems. And then what I'm going to do is also put in like these little leaves that are right there by where the flower is. If you've ever seen the violas, they have, you know, that thicker area where there's like the leaves close to the petals. All right, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a moment to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing, again, just some more color here for the palette. Okay. I think it should be, it's good enough. So just going to go ahead and take this liner brush, just get it pretty filled up with water and the paint, and then just start. So for example, this flower is facing this way, so I'm just going to take this, and you can have it come in front of or in back of leaves and petals, and you know, just come on down. And even for the leaves, I do the same thing. So whether it's the flower or the leaves, I go ahead and I go ahead and make the stem. So this is a side one, so I'm going to come up and down. This one I might have coming this way and maybe in front of that leaf. This one too, up and around. So as you can see, these are very simple, very relaxing to make. Maybe I'll have that one come in front. And get a little bit darker. And this one is a bud, so I'm going to have that come down that way. This one too was a bud. This was a bud also. We used to live in New York, and I remember we had gone upstate New York one year. I think it was like some sort of tour that we did, and there were some violas, and I remember they were pretty. They were like a very light lavender, purple with white, And so I had taken a couple out of the ground and I planted them in our yard, and they actually grew, and because they're really wildflowers, they kind of just took off, and every year they would come back in different parts of our garden. So yeah, I really love violas. And I guess they're very hardy with the snow in the winter time. Okay, so I think I got them all. Maybe this one here. Just coming on down. So how cute is that? I hope I was in frame, sorry. Okay, so now that we have that, what I'm going to do next is just make this a little bit darker. Maybe I'll put in even some of that ultramarine blue mixed in with this green. Because where I have, for example, this area, I'm just gonna go ahead and put those little, I don't know what you call them, the little green bits of that are near the petal. Oh, I think I may have missed this bud here, so go ahead and do that. Okay, and now the very last thing I'm going to do is take this small round brush and go into the ultramarine, and maybe where these flowers are facing, where you see the front of it, I'll just go ahead and I'll put some of that little darker color. It's like those spots that you see. And so that we have as the back, maybe this one here. And that's it. So here is the finished card, or watercolor to go on the card. So I hope you give this a try. Again, it's really easy. Here are my other ones. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and let me know if you give this a try. Okay, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.